In light of the recent outcome of the appeal of the Oscar Pistorius case, in which Dolus Eventualis is discussed, I thought it might be interesting to give a little bit of an explanation as to what Dolus Eventualis really is. Dolus Eventualis falls under the idea of intention, or as is known in Latin terms, dolus. And intention really refers to when an accused knows a situation is unlawful and then they direct their will towards an act which is a breach of that lawfulness. There are three kinds: dolus directus, dolus indirectus, and dolus eventualis. And dolus directus really is where the person knows and understands and intends to bring about the consequences. So for example, you decide to kill a person by shooting them, and then you get a gun and you shoot them, then you directly intended to kill them. Dolus indirectus is where the act is not the main aim of what you're trying to achieve. A typical example here is where you burn your shop down so you can claim from insurance, but as a result, people in the building are also killed or hurt. Neither of these circumstances occurred in the Pistorius case. The Dolus Eventualis, which is the third category of intention, is the one that occurred in his case and was discussed by both of the judges. The Supreme Court of Appeal held that the notion of Dolus Eventualis needs to be reconsidered by the lower court. So what is Dolus Eventualis? Well, Dolus Eventualis is where the accused person, one, subjectively foresees the possibility that the prohibited result might flow from his conduct, meaning that the person can foresee that shooting through a door may result in the death of somebody. The second element of Dolus Eventualis is that the person reconciles himself to this possibility, meaning that the person accepts that that could be the consequence and continues with their action. Another way of describing that is to say that the person is reckless about whether the result happens or doesn't happen. So there are many old cases that illustrate how Dolus Eventualis works, and there was an old case called R versus Jolly from 1923 where the accused people disconnected part of the railway track to delay traffic of the trains, but as a result passengers were injured. So there the question is, did the people intend to hurt the people on the train? And no, they didn't intend to hurt the people on the train, but they could foresee the possibility that people would be hurt, and they reconciled themselves to that possibility. So the reason this has been controversial in the Oscar Pistorius case is because the lower court indicated that there was no Dolus Eventualis in the Pistorius case, meaning there was no intention to kill a person, and as a result Oscar Pistorius then could not be found guilty of murder, because murder is the intentional killing of another human being, and to have intention you must have Dolus directus or Dolus indirectus or Dolus Eventualis. The higher courts now have said that the lower courts must re-look at the understanding of Dolus Eventualis in Oscar Pistorius' case, meaning, did Oscar Pistorius himself subjectively foresee that shooting into that door may result in the killing of another human being, and did he reconcile himself to that possibility? We can open that up to debate, but I think we'd be best left to see what the lower courts decide. The result, though, would be that it's quite possible that instead of being found guilty of culpable homicide, Oscar Pistorius may be found guilty of murder, in which case this could seriously affect his sentence. This is not legal advice. Should you need legal advice, you should go to an attorney who can fully assess your facts. These videos are for information purposes only.